Hey, shalom, shalom. I want to begin this lesson giving all praises, all glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Also, I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule and teach well. And as always, peace, love, and many blessings unto the elect. All right, this is your brother Itazawam from the GMS Atlanta camp, coming back through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai with another lesson, Lord willing. I do hope and pray that it's edifying. Okay, I was reading this little screenshot right here. And it reads, mother says her son died from a heart attack in the middle of an argument with the female. And, it just brought a lot of scriptures to mind, a lot of, perspectives on dealing with women, to mind. And, basically, man, don't let these women run you up the wall, brothers. Okay, the spirit has been heavy on me to exhort the flock, concerning these women, because that's been a major part of our downfall as a nation of people has been these women. Okay, now today you see bad behavior being perpetuated predominantly from the Israelite woman, starting with the black woman, which is why the apostles and elders admonish us, brothers, and we admonish other brothers too, to beware of dealing with the black woman. Now, we know that we can't tell you who to deal with and who not to deal with, but as a recommendation, it'd probably be best for you to stay away from the hair-hatted hooligans. Okay, like the brother Jeremiah from the Chicago camp call them, these jigaboos. Okay, because they can cause a world of trouble in your life, man. They can pretty much destroy everything that you've built overnight, and they won't have a problem with doing it. Okay, they won't have a problem with doing it. They won't take no accountability for their actions. They deal with emotional instabilities. They deal with a lot of childhood trauma, a lot of SA. Okay, being touched on, and all kind of fatherless energy, okay, is incorporated with the black woman. Okay, so you need to beware, and don't let them run you up the fucking wall, man. For you brothers that have women, contentious women, okay, and you feel like you obligated to stay with her because she didn't commit adultery, or y'all go half and half on the rent, man. Eventually leave that bitch. Okay, if it's getting to a point to where you just hate her and she unbearable, okay, she just a rebellious, defiant, okay, an embarrassing individual, hey, go get you another woman. Okay, and the scriptures even tell you that. Now, it says right here, it says, this is his mom speaking. It says, my son lost his life stressing and worrying, had a whole heart attack with an unfinished text, arguing and debating with the woman in the middle of a text. Clean toxicology report. All right, it says, moral of the story, live life how you choose to, which, we don't live life how we choose to. We live life according to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, and a part of our life structure is, when dealing with a woman, she got to be in order to a certain degree. Really, she need to be in order. But we know that, the scripture says that, if you get it from a wife, you get much trouble in the flesh. Now, that all things are considered. Okay, these women are going to be Satan, but it's levels to that shit, man. Okay, it says, but never let someone and their BS stress you out. You control one person in life, and that's you. Once you truly understand that, you will truly live. And, the brother Jeremiah from the Chicago camp, he did a lesson about self-respect, and he was touching on dealing with these women and pretty much not going for shit, man. Okay, you have to remember that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is the priority, then you, then the woman. Okay, so to give woman power over you, to stress you out consistently, chronic stress, okay, is unhealthy, man. Okay, it's unhealthy. Now, matter of fact, let me get this quick scripture. All right, it's in the book of Sirach, and I'm gonna read it in the GNT. I've been reading the GNT a lot. Okay, Sirach 25 and 23. It says, a bad wife will make her husband gloomy and depressed. And we all know that depression can lead to a lot of illnesses. Okay, because there's a particular chemical that's released that's toxic. Okay, when you're depressed, there's a chemical that's released called cortisol. Okay, and cortisol can be toxic to certain organs when released in chronic. Okay, which is why you have to neutralize that particular hormone or that chemical. Okay, and that chemical is secreted from the brain. as a coping mechanism, for you being in a low moment. But if a woman constantly keeps you low vibrational, and that spirit of stress and depression and all gloomy, then eventually you start to overeating, you start drinking, you start doing things to fulfill that void that you have because of the fucking woman. Okay? It says a bad wife will make her husband gloomy and depressed and break his heart. Now we know that the heart represents the mind, but also she can actually give you a fucking heart attack. There's been a lot of men, okay, throughout the course of history who actually lost their life or went in the grave early because they had a fucked up woman with them. So you brothers got to remember, you don't have to tolerate that shit, okay? If she holding you back, if she hindering your spirit, she hindering your growth in the truth, she hindering your personal growth in your own life, okay, cut her off. Or if her ass leave, let her go. Don't chase behind these women. Don't beg them to stay in your life and give them that power. Let their ass go, man. Do you see an angel coming trying to stop these wicked ass niggas when they leave out the truth? Okay? No, don't leave, man. Don't leave out the truth. Man, it's an open door. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, if you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here. That's the same thing with these women. Let them go. Okay? And it says, sin began with a woman, and we must all die because of her. And that's why you see this mess in the earth right now, is because Eve was beguiled by the serpent by not listening to her husband. And you have the same thing today. The black woman loved to run to Esau in the court system. She loved to call the police over bullshit. She loved running to her single, bitter, demonic homegirls that's going to speak against you. She'll do everything. She'll take counsel and advice from everybody except for her own husband, who really has the best interest for her. So that's why you can't let them depress you, because they don't give a fuck about you at the end of the day. And the Lord is going to send us the type of women that he wants for us, man, because the Lord cares about his elect. A lot of these women are just learning lessons, brother. Our loyalty is to Yahweh Bashim Al-Washai. Most of these women that you deal with, they're not your virgin. You didn't take their virginity. Okay? They truly don't believe that you a man of the Lord. So when you start to see signs and symptoms of extreme rebellion, cut their ass off, man. And like the Elder Apostle Gabar did a video, it's best to really have your own space. Okay? Not to share a space with a woman. Okay? Because she can bring everything down, man. I'm a living testimony of that. Okay? Verse 25. Don't let a bad wife have her way. Cut her ass, man. Spiritually, of course. Not, nothing literal. Okay? But get on her ass, man. The brother Kasha Kwala said, you gotta, there's maintenance you also gotta take care of with your woman. You gotta maintain her. These women are extremely emotionally unstable, man. Because they wasn't raised with a father to give them emotional stability. Okay? They wasn't corrected by their father. They was misled by certain fucked up jakes, telling them that the world revolve around them and your man better do this and better do that, and you supposed to get princess and all this shit. But they never tell these women their role, what they're supposed to be like. Okay? They never groom women and prepare them to meet their husband and what a man likes and how to serve their husband. But that's what happens with the Northern Kingdom. A lot of Issacharite women, okay, they're groomed. They're brought up in that spirit of family and, order. That's why the apostles always admonish us, tell us to either get a Northern Kingdom woman, some type of traditional Northern Kingdom type of woman, okay, or these other nations that have those qualities and characteristics. Scripture speak about that contentious goddamn woman, man. Okay? Matter of fact, let me get this scripture. Yeah, I'll read these. All right, this is Ecclesiastes 26, and I'm gonna start at 23. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord. Okay, so if you did have a wicked woman and the Lord delivered you from her, then guess what? That was the Lord's grace. That was the Lord's grace upon you, because the Lord knew that this woman wasn't no good for you. Okay, so he moved her out the way. And that's why you got to trust Yahweh B'Shem Shai. Okay, when doing that, because you know men are more loyal than women. Women ain't loyal for shit. They're like cats. Okay, if you ever fed a stray cat will come around not because they're interested in you or seeing you, but because of what you got. And if that stray cat finds a home or finds somebody else that can feed them, you'll never see that cat again. Because they're not predicated upon loyalty, man. Dogs are. Okay? So you got to look at these women for what it is, man. They don't give a fuck about. They only care about what you could do for them at that moment. It ain't even about what you did. It's about what you could do at that moment. Okay? So don't let these women stress you out. And don't look at these women like they some pillar of loyalty, because they POSs, man, in this society. Real talk. Especially the black woman. Okay? It says, a dishonest woman contemneth shame, but an honest woman will reverence her husband. Now, how many of those you see that are black women? Okay? Now, it was one that I was looking for. The tower against death. There you go. Verse 22. It says, a harlot shall be accounted as spittle, but a married woman is a tower against death to her husband. So a woman who actually cares for her husband, and she, talks to him and talk him through his problems, and she's just there for him. She's a tower against death. But a woman like this, that's always argumentative and combative, okay, always want to overstep her boundaries and be extremely defiant, she could bring death upon you, man. All kind of illnesses and sicknesses. You find yourself being depressed and unmotivated, losing yourself, losing your body. Your motivation is dwindling. That's because you with a fucked up ass spirit. And you can find yourself, man. You find yourself, when that woman is removed from your life. But if you do have a good woman that motivates you and push you, okay, and she comforts you, and she has your best interest, then guess what? That woman is a pillar against death. She can. You ever seen a old married couple that's been married forever, man? That man look happy as hell, man. They got a good woman. Because usually the woman outlived the man because she's stressing him out all his goddamn life, talking crazy to him. You brothers don't have to stand for that shit. I know some brothers have a higher tolerance level than others, but yet and still, F that, man. Okay, we, like the brother Jeremiah said up in the Chicago camp, we Israelites, man. We the princes of the power. We gotta fucking lower our standards to meet your obligations because, we gotta be loyal. Man, fuck these women. Okay, matter of fact, let me get one more scripture. Ecclesiastes 7:26. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets. Her mind, everything is a fucking game. Everything is her trying to trap you, trying to uproot you, trying to break you down, trying to break your children down. Emotionally manipulating the children and everybody else. Okay, that's what she's all about. Snares and nets and traps. That's what the mind of a woman is. Especially a wicked woman. Because a good woman, man, she ain't going to try to trap you up or put you in no bad situation. She going to try to get you in the best possible situation, man. Okay? It says, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth the Most High shall escape from her. but the sinner shall be taken by her. So if the Lord ever delivered you from a fucked up woman, that's because why? Because you please Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And you have to see it as such. And let everything else that you worry about, let it take shape. Let the Spirit of the Lord, reveal, to you that he was with you all along. So you don't have to worry, man. You don't have to, overthink, man. The Lord delivers you from these situations so you won't end up like this individual, dying through a text. He probably was fucking heated. Okay? But remember, the Lord gives us the ability to escape these wicked ass women when we follow his will and we move honest. So count it all a blessing, count it all joy, but don't let these women run you up the wall, brothers. All right. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close it out, giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakodash. Hey, double honors once again to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, honors, blessings to the elect. Shalom.